So there's this viral tweet that's been going around. It's got over 6,925 retweets as of the filming of this video, and it's something I need to comment on. This guy, Matt Haig, says, "Dear BBC, here is how you deal with the far right. You report on them the way you would report on cancer. You invite an expert on them to talk about them as a problem. You don't talk to the tumor itself." I took issue with this, and I tweeted, "I'm sorry, this is very creepy. We can't just block out the people we don't like and segregate ourselves based on ideology. Reinforcing your filter bubble and blocking people out will just ensure your rivals, or in this case the far right, will continue to grow." Naturally, I had a lot of people respond to this. One person said, "Would you interview someone in ISIS?" To which I responded, "Absolutely. In fact, I worked at Vice when they were producing the documentary on the Islamic State, where they actually had someone on the ground in the Islamic State interviewing people, giving you a first-hand experience of what these people believe and what they're doing. Yet, here we have a lot of people who are questioning me." So this guy, Matt Haig, who tweeted this out originally, responded and said, "You apply that logic to ISIS?" And I just screen grabbed my other response. "Absolutely. I worked for Vice. We did this." And he responded, "That's not the same as a seat on the Mar sofa. You're being obtuse. For obvious reasons, ISIS can't come to LA and sit on a couch, but you'll be damn sure real journalists will risk their lives entering extremist territory to get those interviews. Your statement is absurdly anti-journalist." And then he said, "I think if extremism was treated more like cancer by the media, it would be less popular." And I responded with, "I'm sure we'd all be better off not knowing what was going on in the world and why people did the things they did, or why certain groups of people are at war. You view one side as extreme, and they view you the same way." So here's what bugs me, and this is a second channel video talking about this. Man, at this point, 7,000 retweets, basically 20,000 likes. Anybody who's retweeting this who's sharing this, or for whatever reason, it is anti-journalism. First of all, there's a philosophical conundrum. We can't just block people out. If you say, "We're no longer going to have right-wing people on our show," what happens? Your bubble gets small, okay? You're going to shrink because you're excluding people. There's going to be some average uninitiated individual, and they're going to be curious about what's going on in the world. So they turn on Bill Maher or whatever, the Maher sofa, and certainly they see someone talking about the far right and they hear horrifying things and they go, "My God, is that what they really believe? Well, no one on this show is actually aligned with them, so do I trust them? Let's see what they believe." Then they're going to turn on another program, and they're going to see this person refuting all of those arguments, and the people who refuse to interview the right will not be able to rebut. So now you're going to have first of all, you've isolated yourself, right? If you isolate yourself, math dictates that your group is going to struggle to grow relative to those who are not isolated. So the average person who's curious is going to be able to hear ideas from your rivals without opposition. They're going to hear all these ideas, all the good things about the far right, about whatever extremist group. I'm not saying necessarily the far right or extreme. I'm just saying extremism, right-wing people, extremist far right-wing people. They're going to hear these ideas without rebut, and they're going to say, "Oh, I like how that sounds," because they're not being presented with a debate. Not just that. It's just to have someone be... It's anti-journalism. Like I was saying in my tweets, people have died trying to get these interviews. People have gone into some of the craziest places to sit down with warlords, drug dealers, murderers, psychopaths, so that we can better understand what's happening in our world and why they're doing these things. And to have something like this just going semi-viral, don't talk to people on the far right. Anti-journalism, and it's segregating based on ideology, which is only going to inflame the conflict, and it's inefficient. One of my biggest pet peeves with anything, one of the biggest complaints I have about any group, activist, political, otherwise, is when they're inefficient. And if you want to win your argument, you need to have the argument. Because if you say, "You know what, we're not going to engage with these people," you've lost the argument already. Because they're going to say all of the best things about themselves, and no one will challenge their ideology. So, short rant over. Thanks for watching my second channel. More videos like this. I just wanted to talk about this guy who tweeted at me. I've got a few other topics that I find rather funny that I'll talk about at some point, but Thanks for hanging out and checking out the rant, and I hope you enjoy the second channel videos. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already.